just made a bunch of money on
No,
PLTR.
no, it was a good friend of mine. It was a good friend of mine. So it was a target-rich environment. I was the only guy.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Gosh, dang it, man.
Oddly enough, this was handled at a strip club. So, what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? I believe that. I totally believe that. Well, good morning, everyone. I'm so glad you're here, real quick. And even I'm glad you were drinking the Spitzer. I got my coffee mug. I don't know if anybody.
This is White Zinfandel, man.
White Zinfandel. You know, you are a classy SOB. I've always liked that about you.
I'm not classy because this is box wine.
Oh. You drink the box wine because you don't have to buy as much. It's easier to take home to fit in the cart.
Well, the thing is usually as I take the box wine and I hook it up to an IV, so I connect it to my arm and bypass the middleman altogether.
Going quality over quantity. It's amazing.
Box wine, IV, and a catheter. You take the middleman out all of it.
Oh my gosh! What a and everyone before we got on air even was like, "Well, Mike, it's Friday. It's gonna be options day. We're gonna see how the market settles out."
Hey, so just in advance, I want to let you know, Mike, that if there's any interference from my side, it's because you there?
Oh, I'm right here.
Oh, yeah. So it's because I set off an EMP. Because remember, we talked about how my girlfriend replaced me with a robot. I was trying to shut down Skynet.
That's so true. Okay. I'll be careful with that, man. Right.
I think only Joseph is going to catch that one from last week.
He's out there, man. That is a solid. Gosh dang it. And all I wanted to say before we got to the wine, all I wanted to say is, has anybody ever had to, it wakes up earlier than your girlfriend, your wife, your roommate, and then you ask them to do something for you early in the morning, and then if you ever get the eye roll from them?
Yeah, remember.
Man. Dude, it's brutal. Joseph, good morning. Welcome, hombre.
Hey.
Joseph.
How you doing?
Oh, good God. All right.
Another day in paradise.
It looks like it, man.
Oh, he is. Oh, believe me. I'm Joseph. I'm glad you're here because before I forget, I wanted to bring this up. So do you guys remember last week I had Friday off? I wanted to do the show. I had some fun. I got it.
Yeah, you were driving your old lady crazy with the Metallica.
Dude, she was home. She was home. So for all of you that don't know out there, I am a music aficionado, and it's Friday. I got my Metallica t-shirt on. Welcome to Benzinga Pro Happy Hour. We are streamed on Twitter. We're streamed on Twitch, and we are streamed on YouTube. This is a new edition of the show. Just came up this week. So smash that like. Come join us for a lap. Let's get better as traders together. But I had the week off yesterday, and I bought a new record player. And for any of you hardcores out there, I got a carbon fiber tone arm. I got a crazy cartridge, the whole 9 yards. I bought a nice, beautiful stereo, as loud as can be. And I bought some twin towers that are like 3.5 feet tall. And I have 3 5-inch woofers per tower. So, and I'm a little bit of a fan of heavy metal, particularly melodic death metal out of Finland by a band called Children of Bodom.
No Backstreet Boys?
No Backstreet Boys for this guy. Though, I'll respect the music. So, I started cranking these speakers around noon. I couldn't hear anything. And when she's home, she's retired, so the TV's on. Heard no TV, heard nothing. Yada, yada, yada. The sound, yeah, it was the wall of sound, Brian. It was the wall of sound, my man. Trust me, guys. We would sneak out into it. It's a kind of like a townhouse. I would sneak into the hallway. I would listen for it. I got nothing. I was getting and allegedly, I was inducing some paranoia into my psyche, if you know what I mean. So I couldn't take it anymore, so I went downstairs, and then I go into the basement, and I could hear her on her fucking cell phone complaining about driving. She's she's not comfortable driving anymore. And guys, when I was telling you that these speakers were cranked, I've been going to heavy metal, particularly Metallica concerts since I was 14. My ears were ringing, and this is not a very big unit or big building. So, it was everywhere. And the old lady was home. So I just had to, I had to let you know that she heard Children of Bodom, she heard Metallica. I don't think she's ever gonna be the same, but all right. Well, we'll get the let's get the show started. I just
get the ball rolling, my friend.
Yeah, I know. I want to get the general BS out of the way. I can't believe that happened, but I'm gonna have a treat for you guys. I made the paper, but I'll share that next week. It might be a little bit of an old story by then, but I'll tell you guys about it later. All right, so everyone, welcome again. Smash the like. We are streamed on Twitch. We're streamed on Twitter. We are streamed on YouTube. We're so glad. This is the fun show. We are here to do a couple things. Number one, get better as traders and investors, but have fun doing it. There's no reason this has to be boring. I'm Mike. I'm a former financial advisor. I have a long-term view of the market, and it takes a lot to kind of rock me out of that. Avan is an OG trader. He's been trading a long time in a very, very good way. He has far more money than I have, and I think he's a badass SOB. And he's a trader.
I'm not super rich, but it allows me to go to strip clubs every single night if I want to. And the bachelorette parties.
We'll talk about that later. But you can also be drinking wine at night.
That's a joke, everybody. First of all, don't complain to management. It's a joke.
I know.
It's not every night. It's every other night.
Oh, okay, good. I mean, let's put it this way, everyone. Avan is able to support a local economy by himself. That's an easy way to do it.
Missing out trade, a FOMO trade, so to speak.
Regardless.
Third world country.
Or a whole country. So he has his own point of view, and we come together we're here to discuss, man. We want to talk some shop. We want to be more topic-based. We want to hear your opinions. We're going to have opinions. We're going to be talking back and forth. That's what the point of the show is. But we started the show like a couple of buddies grabbing a beer after work and just talking about the market. That is the point of the show. So come have some fun, speak up, talk some shop with us. Tell us what your opinions are. We got a slew of topics to talk about, but never feel afraid to jump in. Brian, AMC is definitely something we are going to be death metal and stocks, Joseph. That is goddamn.
AMC and GME ruining the whole market.
We're gonna get to it. But let's start with the hot news overnight. Avan, I want you to take it away here. Now, CRSP is a company that I am definitely been all into for a long time, but I didn't know the depth of what they could do. I thought this was more of almost like a luxury service. If I could change things ahead of time, prevent some disease. But there's a story that came out overnight, right, Avan? Or
yeah. So they've been working on this. They've been working on sickle cell for a while, but with them and Vertex, they basically, if anyone knows anything about gene editing, you take a protein called Cas9 and you snip and pull a segment out of the DNA and replace it with the new segment of the whatever you're trying to fix. Well, being that it's a new technology and it's up and coming, they just now got to the point to where they're successful in pulling 22 patients off of transfusion and curing them of sickle cell. That's now, insane. How is this? Why is this important? Because that means that they're fixing people from the inside out, right? So you have a problem, you have cancer, you have whatever. You're able to go in, snip out the gene that's causing the problem, the DNA, and replace it with healthy code. Now, obviously, this is all in the early stages, but the way that I see it personally is down the road, this could highly disrupt the pharmaceutical industry by taking the need for medications out of the loop.
So I completely agree with that long term. Like I think that's 100% right, man.
So, CRISPR this week did very well. It was at 109. Now it's at 125. Obviously, anything that I say is not an endorsement of a stock, and don't believe anything that I say because I am blonde. But, Mike and I have always been passionate about due diligence, do your own research.
Uh-oh. You gotta mute.
Oh, what the hell?
Yeah, you're
what
good.
happened?
No, I accidentally hit a button. You're good.
All right. That was my diatribe of the day.
So long term down the road, if we're able to edit our genes, then or we're able to fix illnesses, and I guess I didn't either recognize that true illness lays in the gene itself. I'm very a lot of medical stuff is something I'm very.
But look, this is take COVID for example. They're using mRNA. They're basically going in, attaching a segment through the vaccine that tells your body to have an immunity towards COVID. Okay, so
right. Okay.
In the future, you could do the same thing by either doing it patient by patient, or you could do it from the germ line, which means you give mom and dad this, and when they go to have kids, that immunity is passed on to them as well.
What? Are you serious?
That's germline editing that they're doing.
You could eradicate genetic diseases that get passed on. So, like, you
could eradicate everything.
What? Dude.
Yeah.
All right.
This is all, like I said, this is in the infancy stages, but the idea that they figured out how to snip the lines, the code, and replace it with another code is big. Okay, this isn't this research has been going on for years now, but they've just now successfully published did a publication of an actual treatment plan. So this is big. It really is. And like I said, I'm not saying go buy CRISPR
treatment
stock,
for humans.
But
no, I get that.
Treatment for humans.
So where is this, like an actual trial that's happening? Like what phases?
Here's the news. It says today they announced new data on 22 patients with follow-up of at least 3 months and ranging from 4 months to 26 months, treated with investigational CRISPR-Cas9 based gene editing therapy that showed a consistent and sustained response to treatment.
So phase
CTX01 is being investigated in 2 ongoing phase 1-2 clinical trials as a potential one-time therapy for patients suffering from transfusion-dependent beta thalassemia and sickle cell disease. And in total, more than 40 patients have been dosed across both studies to date, and all have been successful. So, yeah, that's big. Basically, this is laying. Go ahead.
All 22 were successful in the treatment?
40.
All 40, excuse me. I think that's an even bigger deal, man. I think that's literally even a bigger deal.
Yeah, this is laying the framework for the fact that you go, say if you've got a family history of cancer or heart disease or anything, you treat the people, you treat the mom, or you treat the dad that has the current ailment, fix them now, but then you also are able to fix the germline so that down the road, any kids that they have, you don't pass that on.
Do you think they'll get a designation?
I mean, you've got Edith Toss who's doing the same thing in Europe. I don't think they're as successful as the Vertex and CRISPR data, but I just got this information this morning, so I haven't completely gone through all of the research study, but I have been following CRISPR since the dawn of time, and it is definitely the future of medicine. It really is.
Yeah.
I'd personally be looking for like, when's the next when's phase 2 going to happen? Are they filing anything with the FDA? Do
Well,
they
they're in
want
phase. They're in phase 1 and 2
Okay.
of clinical trials.
Okay.
So one is in phase 1, and if I stand corrected, because I know that they've been working on sickle cell for a while. I'm sure that sickle cell is in phase 2. So I know that they did a press release a couple months back of a girl that they successfully fixed all sickle cell. So now there's no transfusions that she needs, no medication she needs. She's good to go. So this is big. I mean,
this is a breakthrough therapy.
It is a breakthrough therapy because anytime you give someone medication, whether it's a Tylenol or whether it's a Benadryl or whatever, anybody can have an anaphylactic reaction to it. Okay, you see now the CDC is coming out and saying that children and teenagers who are given the COVID vaccine are having heart inflammation.
Right.
That came out last night as well. So even something like that can cause problems for the healthiest of individuals. But if you're able to fix it on the genetic line, you don't have that problem. You're fixing it from the inside out, and I don't want to get slammed by the pharmaceutical companies, but the pharmaceutical companies have a tendency to treat the issue and not fix the problem.
Right.
Because
exactly.
it's their business model. That's why cancer probably hasn't been fixed by now. It's more,
I know.
I know.
I'm
not going there.
I know. I like your style there on that. Now, I really think you said it best, Avan, with just it fixes you from the inside out. And you mentioned before we got started that you used to be a medic.
Yeah, I was a combat medic.
All right. Well, we should really get a glass of wine or whiskey and talk about that. Thank you for your service. But
just a
you
job.
said when you're on the you're on the battlefield, or you're in, you're treating a patient. Everyone can have a allergic reaction to any medicine, Tylenol included, right?
Any medicine,
So
vitamins.
There's always going to be limitations, essentially, to some sort of formula, man-made, put together. It can never really, like you said, treat the problem long term. It's never really going to fix this, but literally clipping out the genes can potentially
look at how many kids are
world.
allergic to peanuts. Peanuts is a natural source. It's not even man-made. But look how many kids are allergic to it who actually die from anaphylactic shock from peanuts. How many kids have to have EpiPens? So anytime you put anything in your body can or cannot have a reaction to it. So, this is big. It really is.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I think insurance companies have something to say about this too.
Yeah. Joseph, great point in the chat, man. Great point in the chat. Yeah. Gary's got a great ticker, VRTX, Victor Roger Tango X-Ray. That's the best I'm going to get out of that cool alphabet. Everybody should check that out. It's in the chat. Brian, completely agree, man. I wonder what they are suppressing. And Joseph, you nailed it, man. The insurance, that those two are going to be awfully hard to combat. Now, Avan, you didn't say VRTX was part of the CRISPR deal, right?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it's Vertex.
Oh,
it's Vertex and CRISPR. It's okay. You've had one too many glasses of wine as well. Yeah, and Vertex.
It's the heavy metal.
Vertex took a dive yesterday. Let me see.
This morning.
Yeah.
Well, it took a dive. Let's see. Where am I at? Took a dive yesterday at the end of business from 216 to 186. But that was because a press release came out that they stopped doing a trial for liver disease. Now, why it's important and why is it not important? Well, my position is that they stopped doing the trial for liver disease because they found success with the current plan that they have now with the sickle cell. So they figure, okay, well, we don't need to, because Vertex is a pharmaceutical company. They were using pharmaceuticals to treat this. They weren't doing gene for the liver disease.
Point. Okay.
So
yeah,
with them and CRISPR, they figured, okay, well, we don't need to continue doing trials for liver disease. We could just go straight to the editing and fix it from there instead of continuing just to, expound blood and treasure on a pharmaceutical trial.
So
to
Vertex,
me, that
well, thank God.
Vertex
That's a
is
good
at a
point.
discount right now. Vertex is at a discount.
Okay.
So if I was in the business of promoting stocks,
You're not.
down the road, Vertex and CRISPR are definitely big deal plays. And remember, CRISPR was damn near 140 a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, and it's got some room to run. I agree, man. I think that news is going to set it off. I'd like to take this moment to actually segue into the next thing, because CRISPR is such a long-term game changer that folks literally could change very, very realistically change the world we're all living in a significant, with something we can't ignore. Now, also some major news this week. It sounds like Cathie Wood loaded up on Coinbase as well. It's now her second largest holding in her portfolio.
Ridiculous.
That being said, with El Salvador taking on Bitcoin as legal tender, though I don't understand why that. Can somebody explain that to me? Why that is such a big deal?
Because it legitimizes it, and I mean,
guys,
to me, it doesn't make a difference. I think it's just fluff. But everybody knows my position when it comes to Bitcoin.
I know you're a Bitcoin guy. I'm not necessarily a huge Bitcoin guy.
I'm not a Bitcoin guy. No. I mean, I like the idea of cryptocurrency, but I think that down the road, there's kind of going to come a point. I mean, even Senator Warren was on the Hill the other day saying how Congress has been a day late, a dollar short on this, and that it's time for them to get into either figuring out a digital dollar or coming up with some sort of regulation. But she did make a valid point, and it's a point that I've been making forever, is everything, even though we don't have a digital dollar, everything that we do is digital dollars.
And I totally agree with you on that. But
I haven't held a $20 bill except for last night, but I gave it away.
I don't want to know where that much of top fell.
You made a deposit, did you?
I made a deposit.
Be there. Okay, but
an investment in someone's college fund.
I can still. Yeah, you did.
You put it in her 529B.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, exactly.
I did. You dirty dog. So, but I can cash out my completely digital dollars for Merrill Lynch, and I can go buy a Ferrari today if I wanted to. Not that I'm rich by any means, but I could do it, right?
Exactly.
But that's a digital dollar being converted into legal tender, a real currency. There's a fucking 7-Eleven in downtown Detroit, folks, that has a Bitcoin ATM. I can go and
they're around.
What the fuck does that mean? Why can I buy a Slurpee with why is this not already legal tender? What is El Salvador.
The first guy that used Bitcoin years ago bought 2 pizzas with it, and I think now the value of it is like those 2 pizzas would have cost $30 million.
Yeah, exactly. Great story.
I mean, now one of those things with coin, with Cathie buying up coin, I that I don't particularly agree with her loading up on it, but it's interesting that with all these transactions that are happening in cryptocurrency right now, by the time they have their next earnings, they're going to say, well, yeah, we fucking killed it with all these exchanges happening, with people selling off. So they're raking it in right now, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if she unloaded some of it the next earnings if they take off.
I'm not. That's a great point.
China just cracked down on a whole bunch of Bitcoin owners the other day. So who knows what those guys have up their sleeve? And I mean, everybody talks about how crypto is used for nefarious purposes, and I'm sure that I'm going to get slammed on social media for this.
The dollar's not.
But that area of the world is known for narco trafficking, and
yeah,
easy to hide.
Exactly what I do. I was like, this doesn't mean shit, guys. This is like, when I think of legitimate governments, I think of El Salvador. That's the first place I want to go. I want anybody in the chat to throw a one if you would vacation in El Salvador with your family. Like,
I think
come on, man.
It's more meaningful when Tesla buys Bitcoin to me, because their market cap's 25 times larger than their economy, than their GDP.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, I agree with you there.
No, that's actually true. I looked it up because I was interested.
Dude, that's nuts. All right. Well, speaking of big news that this week, Avan, I got to defer back to you again. UiPath. We have Kathy Wood and UiPath. So she bought a
bunch of UiPath, but she's been buying UiPath since its release.
I'm a long-term investor. What the hell is UiPath? Should I be jumping into this?
Me personally, I mean, I think that it's a little bit all over the place. It was doing really well right out of the gate, and is
what the hell is it?
Last time. It's basically a software as a service company. From what I understand, it's essentially using AI for your back office.
Okay. Well, no, I am into that.
The end automation platform.
I'm all into that. No, I got no beef with that.
Well, I mean, you've got so many that are bumping up now. You've got Snowflake, you've got Palantir. I mean, granted, Snowflake and Palantir are way more powerful than UiPath, but we'll see where it goes. No one should
discount. Avan, you and I are lockstep on this. No one should discount artificial intelligence and the revolution that it can put into the world. I don't think this is anything to legitimately scoff at. And here's. Electric vehicles are on the road today, but there are some questions of, well, do we have enough material, and how are we going to power them, and a couple things. Bitcoin, and not to bring Bitcoin up again, just that I think each day that goes along that we are seemingly further from a use case. And I get it, El Salvador now the legal tender, but that's like not really rocking the boat. No one is buying. I don't know. I get at the store of value, but it's all over the place. Each day that goes along and it's still chaotic, I think is more of a detriment to it than anything
else.
You
saw the Bitcoin drop the other day when the news that the FBI hacked into DarkSide's
very
password
true.
and stole their Bitcoin back.
Everybody should let that sink
in. Which set up red flags going, well, if the FBI can get into DarkSide, then why can't they get into my wallet and clear my money out?
Is it possible that the FBI arrested somebody with the wallet and the key to the wallet, and they just
no.
And he just handed the keys over? That's the only thing I can think of.
No. They broke in. They hard broke that.
Is effed up, everyone. That world, that is crazy. Okay, so that aside, there's some significant issues between those two. Yes, Gary, I cannot wait to get to SQNS sooner than later, buddy. That is on the docket next. But artificial intelligence is a force I do not think that we can disregard, because once it is created, it's its own thing. It's software. There's no hardware involved. There's no use case. Artificial intelligence is going to dominate the future. There's no trial. There's no binding. There's no use case. There's no what ifs. There's no hypotheticals. It is going to take things off of humans' plates, essentially, we don't want to deal with. Military, manufacturing, medical, you name it. There's more of a need, in my opinion, for artificial intelligence than any other of these, future game-changing technology. So,
well, I'm sorry, I keep interrupting you, Mike.
Let's say, man, this is a discussion, man. You're drinking wine.
I'm still recovering from last night.
That's the way a couple buddies do it.
So, in the nature of business, you're either AI or die, and that's just the way the future is.
Yes.
And you got to think also with the advancement of quantum computing.
Yes, that's another.
Passwords as we know it, bank security as we know it, Bitcoin wallet security as we know it will be dead in the water. When quantum computing becomes live, then all of that is crackable. So as a business, you have to be running AI, and you've got some companies that down the road are going to be running the show. Palantir being one of them. You just have to think that, great. I'm all about making money, and you want to day trade, you want to spin, or you want to intraday stuff.
Right.
But I think that if you live in this country, that I think you have an obligation to take some sort of your money that you're investing in the stock market and invest in companies that are doing good things for the country itself.
Dude,
you should have an obligation. You should have an obligation. If a company is providing support for the military to keep you safe so that you could drink your Starbucks while driving your SUV, then by all means, I'm not saying invest all your money there, but I'm saying this whole idea of investing and just investing to make a quick buck is just bullshit.
We've seen it. Before I left Merrill, ESG was the top sleeper. They were, and appreciate that, Mr. Weeks. We got an amen for you, Avan, in the chat.
Yeah, I saw that, brother. Thank you.
Right on. Oh, I agree, man. Intentional investing, ESG, environmental, societal, government, investing with an intent, a positive thing. Absolutely, man. That's going nowhere. And I think you're absolutely right, man. Make the world a better place. And let me put it this way. This is a favorite quote of mine from Dan Gilbert. Do well by doing good.
Perfect.
Thank you, Mr. Gilbert. Okay, last thing on what happened this week. This blew me away too. EA got hacked.
Yeah, EA got hacked.
What the fuck?
780 gigs of data got lost. FIFA 21, matchmaking server, source code, and tools for the Frostbite engine, proprietary EA frameworks, software development kits, and just tons of code.
Is the whole world going to be open sourced in 20 years?
That sucks because E3 is this weekend, I think, from what I was telling. Yeah. So that's that's not good news right ahead of that.
No, it's not.
No, that's not going well.
Oddly enough, though, the stock only dropped 0.39% on that news. I guess, the people that invested in EA stuck their head in the sand like a bunch of ostriches and said, it doesn't matter. It's not big news, when in fact it really is. Source code is a big deal. Yeah, it's not something that you want anyone to have.
Those are the master tapes.
Yeah, especially when you've got proprietary software.
Do not want to give those up. All right, so that's been a lot of fun. Wow, we just learned a lot. I
don't know about all that.
I don't know, Chris. We generally have a potential for a game changer that can structurally change humanity for us in CRISPR. I love the fact that you said it fixes you from the inside out. Again, I thought CRISPR was way more preventative or way more of like, hey, I just want to, I want my kid to be 6 feet tall and
that's I was just going to say that. That's going to be the next thing. You'll be able to design your baby on an app.
And that's why I stayed away from it, because I don't like things playing God. We've all read Frankenstein. It doesn't actually go well. It's very interesting. Kathy Wood is loading up on Coinbase. Joseph, that's an excellent point that they are probably going to have some killer earnings coming up. I think Joseph is 100% right. The UiPath, I think anything artificial intelligence really is an excellent long-term play. As a financial advisor, that would be a sector I would focus on for my clients. I'd want to bring information to them at the meetings. I'd be like, this is something I really want us to take a look at. And I would start to explore mutual funds or ETFs in that way, particular individual stocks. And it is mind-blowing. EA got hacked again. And it's not that EA did anything wrong or didn't have cybersecurity. It's like, who, in the grand scheme of things, who would have gave a shit about EA of all the companies in the world to hack? Do I really want the video game code? And now that it happened, it's one of those, of course, in hindsight, well, duh. Why would we not want the source code for these hundreds of $1 million in revenue games, right?
So probably the biggest reason why they got them is so that they can sell that source code online. And then also, a lot of kids want to be able to know the source code so that they can create cheats. And I'm sure that it's going to be a valuable moneymaker for them on the dark web.
Yeah, man.
Well, they could also ransom
that's a
it
good
too.
point.
What's that, Joseph?
They could also ransom it too.
Oh yeah. Who knows, man? I mean, this whole ransomware has just gotten completely out of control. If the federal government doesn't start taking this seriously,
oh yeah,
all of us are going to be in a world of hurt. I mean, think about it. What will it take before the NYSE gets hacked and shut down for ransomware, or TD Ameritrade, or any of these?
Robinhood,
federal
guys. I don't think Robinhood really has a huge team available to it. I really don't. I think they're vulnerable in some aspects like that. I don't think a company like Tesla or Ford Motor or General Motors, for example, is going to be susceptible to hacks, because they have immense resources. They have hundreds of thousands of employees, and particularly engineers. I don't think.
But Mike, remember, all it takes is one employee to open up an email with an attachment, and it's all over. That's exactly what happened to Sony. That wasn't a hardwire attack, man. That was just some freaking stupid employee opening up an email attachment.
Great point. All right, we got to move on. We'll come back to this. Again, everyone, smash the like on YouTube, smash the like on Twitch, smash the like on Twitter. We are being streamed all over the world right now. If you want to get
Good morning, Blind Trader, Rizwan, and Donkey.
Beautiful. And if you'd like to get your beautiful mug on the streams, just throw a quick mention in the chat and tell us what you want to bring up. I'll mute you. You can come on the show. But for all of you that were not here last week, Avan and I are going to do two things too. We are going to introduce a couple stocks that we just like. I like the stock. Mine happens to be this small 5G company, telecommunications company called SQNS, Sequence Communications. They're actually based in France, which I think is cool. But
and Gary, a big fan of that as well.
I think Gary was. Yes, I think he is. Appreciate it. Gary and I are going to get some t-shirts made, and we're going to go visit Avan. And then we're going to, I don't know what's going to happen that night, but it might be fun.
Thing one and thing two.
It's so fucking funny. So I like the stock. I like it for on the basic thesis is I think it's the right place at the right time. I like the sector. I like the technology. There's nothing necessarily proprietary that, I'm not saying it's like, an aggressive new electric car company or something like that, or a new currency or a new way to trade, anything like that. I just like the stock. What caught my eye is that it used to be very expensive. It used to be in the 70s, and I don't know if my computer will support the chart, but it came back down. Yeah, boom, look at this, everyone, like nuts. And it's been shrugging around, and then had a nice little pop. And then we're starting to catch up.
Wasn't it July in 2011?
Exactly. They go live. They were 4G at that 72. Time. They were doing some things. Cool. Or they were before that. And then they started coming down. But then when I started to pick them up at early 2020, I was like, all right, right place, right time. I knew 5G was coming. But what caught my eye, and something that what we're going to do together as a team, as a group, is I started to notice this really steady pattern. And I'm not necessarily, I didn't see it elsewhere. It was really, really bouncy elsewhere. But ever since 2020, and I think it's just the time and place, it has been in this nice little channel. And I'm sure you can't see my screen too well. But I just want to highlight this. This is right at the beginning of last year. And it's just been bouncing up, and it's been this slow and steady thing. The lows are a little bit choppy, but it doesn't really want to produce new lows. The highs are getting lower, and again, right time, right place. So what I'm going to do, I am going to share what I do with this stock, my trades personally, for you all every week. I'm going to tell you exactly what I did. And this is what I did this week. And Joseph, my man, came through. So we were looking at a couple things we were trying to look at. Let me bring up the 5-day because oh gosh.
So these runs were from when we last talked.
Dude, yes, yes.
I saw them on my chart too. I was like, when did I do this?
No. Well, dude, so God dang it, I ruined.
Yeah, Joseph's the chart master.
Joseph is the chart master.
Turn on the 500.
About
turn on the 500 daily moving average, and you'll see something really fun.
Let's bring on the 500-day moving average before we get too far ahead. And of course, we're using Benzinga Pro, folks. And if you're not on Benzinga Pro, you are missing out, because not only do you get the news.
That's the wrong answer.
What?
If you're using something other than Benzinga, that is the wrong answer.
Yeah, then it's the wrong answer. Absolutely. You are missing out, because all the news Avan and I brought up is in Benzinga Pro. And on top of that, we can check our charts in real time. There's nothing quite like it.
And the cool thing, while you're setting this up, the cool thing, boys and girls, about Benzinga Pro is that you're not going to get a opinionated version of the news, right? You're not going to have Kramer telling you buy the stock that he's got in his, fund. So, you're not going to hear from certain figureheads that, get into this, get into that because it benefits them. None of this that Benzinga Pro pushes out as news benefits anybody but you.
Yeah, 100%, man. 100%. And Jason, great question in the chat. All I did was go to the details tab, click it. I typed in my ticker, and then, I hit chart, and I brought up some indicators. Now, I already happen to have this set up, and what's really cool about Benzinga Pro, once you have it set up, it doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't change. Okay. Joseph, I'm all over the place in this fucking chart. We got the 500 moving average.
You want the daily time frame.
We want the daily time frame. I love that. I'm a big daily chart guy.
And then zoom out.
Long-term investor. All right. So
just
500 is this green line.
Zoom out for months. Just zoom
for
out.
months. Oh,
zoom
okay.
out.
Okay.
Keep zooming out.
All right.
I love this. Look at the 500. Just keep zooming out.
All right. Oh, I see what you're. Oh, I see. I think I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Ever since it got over the 500, it's been a very, very strong level of support.
There it is, guys.
And it just consolidated, and then it took off where we were drawing our wedge there.
So I could not articulate that. Joseph articulated it a million times better. He's the technical master. But that's exactly what I'm looking at. And this is what we brought up last week together. We're just seeing this like strong pattern. And then we started drawing, we got specific. I'm going to zoom into the 5-day. We'll stick with the daily. Can I do that? We started recognizing that we drew a line from a high to a recent low. We crossed. That was supposed to be on June 9th to catch a true, let's see where the stock is then. And it exploded right out of the gate, and it's holding steady. And guys, this is exactly what it's going to do. It's going to come down. But I'm thinking it might touch this line, if anything. But here's what I did. I loaded up and I sold on the 8th. I sold a whole bunch of odd lots, 25 shares, 12 shares, 17 shares. And they were, kind of all over the place. I had a nice steady profit because I recognized the pattern. I was like, oh, I see the spike. It was up 10% that day. I had enough shares. I was able to, since I've accumulated the shares over so much time, I was able to make a healthy profit because some of those shares were worth like $3. So it didn't really matter. Boom, took advantage of the trade. It took advantage of the market there. And that was an easy situation for me to get ahead of. And as soon as I saw that pop, I was like, today is the day. I'm not going to trust it. It's probably not going to have these continued momentum. It's going to have this pop and it's going to slow down. I think what's going to happen next is it's probably going to hit along this line right around 550. I think it's going to turn around and march towards its next leg up. Now, where that's
what was the catalyst? What was the catalyst for June 8th? Sorry to interrupt you.
Nothing. There was nothing fancy.
So here's one thing I see. We actually discussed this. If we discussed this stock last Friday, we discussed it the day it broke out of our trend.
Oh, so we're responsible then.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It broke. Well, here's the thing. It broke out of our trend, and it got as high as the 50 daily moving average before it went back down and closed above the trend. Next day, it didn't get above there, but the day after, June 8th, it got over the 50 in a huge way, and it broke right through the 200. Huge bullish move.
Yeah.
And now I don't think it's going to come down to that trend line that you're talking about. I think it's going to come and bounce off the 200 moving average, and it's because it's bull flagging right now. So if you turn on the 200 and the 50, you'll see what I'm talking about.
All right, I'm going to kill a couple of
Sure, yeah,
these.
kill whatever you need.
Let's do that. So we're going to add 2 moving indicators. And here's how you do it. You're in the details tab, you're in the chart. You go to this indicators up here, and I'm going to click it twice because I want 2.
Yeah, you want.
And I'm going to go over to the moving averages. I'm going to adjust the settings, go to inputs. We'll go 200, just 200. Oh, I don't need that. Sorry about that, folks. I don't know exactly what happened there, but let's go add my moving averages.
Because I don't see any news.
No, exactly,
Benzinga.
Man. Nothing. That's the other thing I love about
No, there's no news.
So
I
it's
don't
gonna be
need
just
any I don't care. It's like I don't need the catalyst. It's fine. It just does what it does.
Then.
So we're going with a 200. And let me make this. Okay, I like that. Let's make that a little thicker. And then we're going to add a 50. Is that right, Joseph?
Yes.
Beautiful. Let's do this together, man. All right.
So are you guys expecting a commission from SQNS because this got mentioned on the 4th and bumped up the way it did?
I am not. I am going to buy. I think I'm going to buy some bigger speakers. I'm going to tell you.
As if you need any bigger speakers.
Yeah, I don't know. Could you just hide the 65? Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay. So there you have got your 50 when we broke out from our trend line, it got up to the 50. You see it right there, that blue line.
Yep.
All right, I think that's what it is.
Get rid of that too. There we go.
Oh, sorry, that's the yellow line. Okay, so it knocked its head right up against the yellow line, and then it tried it again, and then the third time it tried to get over it, it gapped up in the morning, and it got through the 300. I'm sorry, the 200.
Right.
And it ended up closing up there. So that was a big bullish day, just breaking through 2 huge levels of moving average resistance. And now I think it's not going to, if it does go down, it probably won't go down any further than the 50. I think it's going to find support at the 200 before it, because it's making a bull flag chart pattern right now. And then it's going to, I think it'll take off. That's just my technical analysis on it.
Me too. I'm a little leery. It just only because I've been watching this damn thing for so long. I would be a little more. I would put a little more money that it's going to hit the 50 more than find support at the 200. I hope I'm wrong, but guys, I'm not going to lie. I think it's going to.
You're never wrong, Michael.
Can you write that, put that in a letter? I'm going to put that on my refrigerator for my girlfriend.
I was going to say.
Sweetheart, look, refrigerator says
he said that you and Gary are going to make.
It doesn't matter how I load the dishwasher. It doesn't matter how I the dishwasher. Okay.
Well, hey, wait till Sarcos Robotics and Palantir make that automated robot that will be able to load the dishwasher for you. Then she.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. You know what I do, man? I just, God, call me if I'm crazy though. I just really think it's gonna want to find, and I don't have quite the real estate right here, but if you can see it, it's gonna. I just do think, man. And remember, it really popped up on no catalyst. There's really nothing doing it. I don't know who's watching it or why, but guys, that's what I'm going to see. So I have now a smaller position. My next entry is going to be in exactly Joseph's range. I'm a buyer between 550 and 568 or so. So there are 200 is about 560, a little bit higher than I thought. And then our low is at 565. So you know what? I'm not going to lie. I'm definitely going to be a buyer again in this range. I have enough shares to let it sit on it. So if it takes a spike, I'll offload a couple more. And that's what's next.
What's nice though is that you have your Bollinger Bands up in the red middle line. That's the 20 moving average, which is what I also use. Beautiful.
Exactly. Bollinger Bands for everybody beginning. That is an indicator that I really took to as a bee blossoming trader, but as an investor, that makes sense. That is your standard deviation against the mean. So how far is this thing against your 20-day moving average? How far is this thing bouncing around? That really gives you an indication of, is this thing stable? Is this tight? Am I getting a fair price? And it's not always the time in the market. It's the price you pay that really depends on your profit too. Remember that. You don't just have to buy something and hold it forever. And even if you're an investor, take note of the price you're paying. So I am definitely a buyer right around here. I am for sure a buyer again at 550. There's no doubt about that. And I'll load it up. And my next target for selling, since I got a killer price last week, is going to be closer to 7. That's where I am. Now we only have 10 fucking minutes left, which sucks. But there were a couple of things we wanted to get to. Let's do this. On the stream, and again, everybody, welcome out there. We are live. Smash that like button. We are live on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. And if you gotta get your ugly mug on here, your beautiful mug, come join us. But folks, I want to share.
Yeah, nobody can be uglier than I am.
I don't think anybody said that last night, big guy.
I took all the mirrors out of my house so I didn't have to look at myself.
Your girlfriend, she begs to differ. She begs to differ. Well,
we only talk in the dark.
Oh, okay. You guys have opposite schedules, I see. I want to bring up my worst trade ever, and this was a great example of greed. And another thing I absolutely adore about Benzinga Pro, and why you should be on here too, and learn how to use the program with us every week and learn how to get better and sharpen your analytical skills, not necessarily on one thing, but charts and your thesis. PTSC is a piece of shit. I hate this thing because I've lost an incredible amount of money. And this is right where I decided to jump into PTSC, right? Literally, probably right about here. No, I got in at 66, so I'm somewhere around here. The reason I bought it is because I got really greedy on doing. I got wrapped up in the craze of biomedical. I got wrapped up into it. I gotta get some exposure here. I, for some stupid reason, worked on a single analyst rating, seeing this. And this is, guys, this is literally exactly what I did. This is literally exactly what I did. I saw the writing on the wall. I wanted to get into this part of the market. I saw the upgrade. I did just a teeny amount of research. I didn't do enough due diligence, and I got stuck with a shitty stock. Now, the biggest
It happens to the best of us.
Thank you, Joseph. Appreciate that. Or thank you, Avan. The biggest reason I screwed up is because at a 20% loss, I didn't cut it and move on. I stuck with it. And what I did, second thing wrong, I doubled down on my losses. As soon as this thing started tanking, I was so arrogant to my own thought process. I was so arrogant to
trying to fix your average.
Exactly. I was trying to fix my average. I was so arrogant to what the market was telling me that, Mike, this thing is a stinker.
I have a question for everybody who's watching. At what point do you cut and run?
Ooh, that's
what is the percentage of your loss that you go, I'm done, I'm tapping out, I'm calling it a loss? Yeah, or do you continue to hold on, hoping for it to bounce back? At what level do you continue to hold, and then what level do you decide to walk? Sorry, Michael, I keep interrupting you, man.
No, you're good. Glad you jumped in, man. Oh, Gary, I'm glad I'm not alone, everyone. I'm glad I'm not alone. You guys tell us, what do you think? I'm going to jump into the chat and answer some, a couple. Oh, Robert, glad you love Pro, man. It's the best, bro. Oh, good. The complete is awesome. Guys, rule of thumb at Raymond James was 20%. 20% fund, 20% stock. You cut it for your client, you move on. I don't know why I didn't even listen to them. They're the most conservative firm on the street, and I still screwed it up.
You know, I'm not seeing an overview of what your stock does, man. I mean,
I know.
I'm not getting updated. No. Now I've got a ton of windows open, so maybe I've eaten up all the memory.
No,
I mean, I've got 30 windows open.
So I'm back in the details tab. This is the overview screen. Gives you a great chart. And by the way, the 2-day looks absolutely killer. I love that. The 5-day looks even better. This is what I was hoping for when I doubled down the first time. I didn't do any fundamental analysis. I literally just realized I think I read this and I read that, and I was like, yeah, let's do it. And I saw the price target, and it was more that. It was more what they were doing, the price target, and it was the current price. I saw the upside. I was like, okay, well, I got, this is a nice chunk of change if this thing does go up. And it was the time and place. It was early in the year, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure everybody wanted to get their biomedical stock. They wanted, I'm running this one. No one wanted it. Everyone was real secret about it. But I jumped in. I didn't do any of my fundamentals. I didn't do any due diligence, and I got smoked. And then I doubled down on my arrogant mistake, and I'm paying for it. And now I'm stuck and I'm holding it. And if you guys really want to know the truth, I bought it for I'm running my girlfriend's IRA, and I bought it in her IRA because I didn't even want to be wrong there.
But remember, the market is alive, right? And even the best stocks in the world can get pummeled for no reason whatsoever. Perfect example, all the wind being taken out of the sails of good companies because of this AMC GME BS.
Yeah,
it's affecting the whole market. Yeah, but we'll talk about that next week because we only have 5 minutes left. But I digress.
When did you get into PTCT, Mike?
Dude,
PTSD.
60. When the last time it was $67. So we're talking, it was literally right after. Yeah, man.
Okay.
It was right after the analyst upgrade, and I was like, and you know what it was too? It was succumbing to the greed that I better get into this now. Because once people catch on to it, it's going to take off. I was the only person making that argument. I was the only one talking to myself in my head. That's a classic mistake. I wish I would have known even back then. Joseph, I wish I had the opportunity to speak, and listen to your opinion too, man. But that's what I did. I had this overcoming fear of missing out. I had a greed, and I had to jump in as soon as I could.
And now looks like a better time to buy.
Yeah, dude, now, exactly. Jeez, and now, okay, so what would you all do if you were me? Do I cut I already own the shares. I'm stuck with this capital. This capital's dead in the water, right? It's not going anywhere. So do I ride it out? Do I hit a certain, when it gets up maybe to 50, 55, let it ride, or sell it, take the loss, move on?
You're too far gone, man, at the loss right now. You might as well just hold and see what happens. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah, I think it may have found a bottom. It's trying to get back. I mean, it closed over the 50, so it's swinging back up. And the next target is the 500 daily moving average.
Okay, let's hold it and see what happens. Bruin, I will hold it. Guys, we'll have updates on it. And you said 500-day moving average?
Yeah, you already have it up there.
Oh, do I? I do. Yeah, it's probably trugging up there. It wants to get there.
So 2 minutes, Michael.
3 minutes, that's right. Now, the stream is going to end in 3 minutes on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Please make sure you hit the like. Please join us next week. Guys, Avan's got to introduce his stock. SQNS was kind of the secret winner. We like that one. We think we have another one. I actually take those words back. Not a secret winner, but an interesting stock to follow. And I'm looking forward to sharing it more with you. But I like Avan's pick too. And Avan, before I met him, I was a little like, this thing is like, sounds cool, but whatever. And
you talking about me or the stock?
I'm talking about. The stock. I'm talking about the stock. I liked you from the get-go. All right. But he really like hearing the broader picture and not what the company does, but how it fits into many different industries and many different companies was like, ooh, I like this. So I learned a lot more about it. And that is going to be the next company that we follow for the life of the show. We want to give updates and what we did and how we did it on our trade. Are we missing anything? I think we covered everything. We got the worst trade ever. I bought it because I was greedy. What do I do now? I think I have to hold my exit strategy. I might be bailing right as I break even. I don't know. I really think my upside, if I had to take if I had to pick one, is going to be the analyst upgrade or the recent one, which is at 85, which is I really wanted. But the rating from March is 10 times worse, literally cut in half. So I think as soon as it breaks even, I'm going to move on from it. I hate this stupid thing. Learn from my mistakes, folks. Don't be like me. Be like Joseph. Be like Avan.
Oh, stop it.
They're much smarter than I.
You're doing
I still
perfectly fine.
my
Everybody has
car
to
still
lose.
has rearview mirrors sometimes.
Say it again, Holmberg.
My car has rearview mirrors sometimes. It's like, oh,
Hindsight's
you're
always
doing
2020.
Yeah, I'm always looking back. Oh, you're doing well again. Well, maybe I'll sneak back in and see if I can, get a revenge trade. But
Oh man,
that's not the best thing to do.
Even the best
Revenge
traders
trade, I
have
like
losers
that.
every now and again.
And hey, Charles, Mr. Tatum, thank you so much for being here. You were here last week, and I enjoyed our conversation.